I've failed pretty much all of my goals. I remember that when I started with YouTube, one of the goals I had for the first month when I started was to get 100 subscribers. I got around 30 subscribers. I fail all the time. Even though failing in the moment for us might feel like a defeat, or we might feel bad, or like a major setback when we fail. But the truth is that it will always happen when we're on this journey on improving ourselves. I got a question from one of the boys in the Telegram group that we have for a chat for the community, or for the challenge that we're running right now, which starts on the 20th of August. If you're interested to join that, you can click the top link in the description and see it. But one of the questions I got was, he was telling me about how do we handle failures on self-improvement, because a lot of people are experiencing like a negative cycle. He started becoming more productive, right? He got the initial inspiration and he saw his own potential, right? He realized his own potential. But then what happened was that he started to fail. Like he started to get back into a rut or whatever, and he stopped doing the good habits for a couple of days, but then he started again. And then the cycle just continued. Now, there are a few things that I've taken away from my 2.5 years or 2 years on self-improvement regarding this. The first one is like time perspective. Literally, if you've been on self-improvement for 2 weeks, you're literally 2 weeks old. Like, I'm not joking. You're literally 2 weeks old. Before you started self-improvement, you were always on social media. You were maybe playing video games, binge watching Netflix shows, whatever, right? Like we all were, right? But the thing is that you can't get angry at yourself for failing in the beginning, but because failure is a part of this whole improvement. And because maybe, let's say that you've been consistent for 1 month or 2 months or 5 months, it doesn't really matter. You've only been active for 5 months. You have to change this perspective and realize that this is just a small part of your journey. Like, in total, just realize that where you are right now, in 10 years, where you will be if you continue doing this. Now, when I say continue doing this and staying consistent, when I regard any term or any activity that I say you should be consistent in, what I mean is that you stay consistent over time. This means that there are some times we fail. There are some days when we will skip the gym. Like, I have not been consistent in the gym. I have not meditated for two and a half years straight, right? I've meditated for most of the days. I've worked out for most of the days. But there are times when we fail. There are times when our lizard brain takes over and we don't go to the gym, or we don't meditate, or we don't study, or we don't work on the business or make the YouTube video. That's just a part of the journey. Instead of looking at failures as something that you have failed at, simply say, I have failed at this thing. That changes the perspective of it all, because that takes the blame out of you, because you as a person are not a failure just because you've failed. You have failed, yes, but you failed at this thing. That doesn't mean that you are a failure as a person. That's the first thing, which is the time perspective. The second thing we have to take into account when we fail, and when our mind starts bullying us for being unproductive or from failing at some stuff, we have to analyze the consequences, because we have to be logical about this. Because, like, literally, just bring out the journal. I have them here, just always by my desk right here. Just bring out the journal and analyze it through a logical perspective. So, for example, let's say you failed at, you skipped a workout today. What are the consequences? Like, actually, what are the consequences of you skipping that workout today? You just got a rest day, right? Literally, you just got another rest day. Now, what are the consequences of you staying off the gym for 1 week? Well, you have not been in the gym for a week. That's not so good, logically speaking. What? You're just gonna fucking give up, and for the rest of your fucking life, you're not gonna work out? Of course not. If you failed and not worked out for 1 week straight, before this you were like consistent and everything, but then you not worked out for 1 week. Well, just simply go back to working out. Yes, what you've skipped a week. So what? Fuck it. As long as you get back into the habits and focus on the number one point I talked about, which is the time perspective. Like, if we say that we want to be productive, like, self-improvement is a lifelong journey, right? Becoming disciplined, getting good grades, making money, like building a business. This is hard as fuck, right? Building a business, building a YouTube channel. It's hard as fuck. Like, a few days of productivity doesn't really matter. Those are the two things. Like, literally take this into account when you fail, because a lot of people think that there's not something wrong with them, or they start researching, oh, why am I failing? There's something I'm doing wrong. No, like, literally, it's not something you're doing wrong. Everybody fails. Just continue to have the perspective of the long-term perspective, and then analyze the consequences over the failure, right? That's pretty much all I'd say in this video. I'm out.